Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. Today is going to be a fairly short meeting. What we're going to go over is really just kind of what we're going to be discussing or what we're going to be doing over the next month or so. Also, kind of how the UASIS beginnings are going to be. I want to kind of give you guys a very clear picture of what our timeline is going to be. And then we're going to answer, any questions that you guys have in regarding the new UASIS system and things like that. So with that, I cover this every time, and so I just want to kind of get a good remembrance. Your data maintenance. Is your data entered on a timely manner? Since we are coming to a conclusion of a system, this is very critical to make sure that all of your data is entered. We do plan to have a dual year entry period after we relaunch in July. However, that has been one feature we have not yet been able to test. And so we may be running into bugs. And so I don't want any of these bugs that we have or potentially will run into to affect your guys' entry into the system. And so we are asking that this year you try to minimize the amount of dual year entry that you have to utilize. And if you can, get all of this year's data in and entered by the end of the program year. I will give exactly what those dates are and everything else later, but we do ask that you try to minimize the dual year entry period this year, and that way we aren't being held up, and any of our reports that we're trying to do will also be accurate as we jump into the new system. Have you set EFLs for your students? Remember, we want you guys to test as many of these students. However, if you are unable to test a student for whatever reason, use the ability to set an entering EFL, especially for these students that are over 12 hours. These students NRS has required us to report on these students. And in order for us to report on these students, we do need to have some sort of entering EFL for these students. And then the last thing is do you have any outstanding approvals? We'll go through this in the new system, kind of how approvals work and how the data and reporting works on all of that. But we do want you guys to kind of do that last hurrah check as we do move into the new system to make sure that all of your data is good, all of it is entered inside of the system, all of that kind of stuff. So again, just make sure your data maintenance is good for this year as we start to wrap up. Again, I know some programs are in the process of wrapping up now, and that's fantastic. Just make sure that your data is good and in and approved before you jump into the summer breaks. For those that are going to continue on, you do still have a little bit more time in order to get some of this data and, post-test students, different things like that. So just make sure that you get all that data into Utopia. So with that, let's jump into what our timeline is. I have talked to some of you guys kind of what our timeline is going to be, but we kind of finalized it this last couple weeks or whatnot. I have also been entering data into the system as well, as I've been doing mock imports to try to see exactly how long it's going to be. And so we've kind of got everything narrowed down. Our last day to enter and approve any data in Utopia is going to be June 30th, 2024. June 30th is a Sunday. So the 29th and 30th are a Saturday, Sunday. It's a weekend, but you will still have the capabilities of logging into Utopia on those last 2 days to get any sort of last minute data. So outcomes or any contact hours, testing, anything like that, you can get any of that still entered in on June 30th. Be completely open. I will be on vacation those last couple of days. It's kind of my last few moments of freedom before everything kind of comes crashing down and we jump into a brand new system. But you do have the capability of still entering all of that data on those last couple days. As of June 30th, when July 1st happens, we will lock the system to where you cannot log into it at all. And then Benchmark is going to start sending me all of the files with all of the students' data and everything else inside of there. So again, June 30th is your last day to enter and approve any data inside of Utopia. All information, however, will be transferred into Utopia. From Utopia will be transferred into UASIS. This includes students, classes, locations, staff, anything that you have entered into the system will be transferred over to UASIS. I have been asked a handful of times, should we just wait to build new classes until next year, or should we go ahead and build them now? I am leaving that answer completely up to you guys. I don't care either way. It's whatever you feel more comfortable. If you want to kind of get a head start on the next year so you don't have to worry about building classes into the new system, then go ahead and build them now and we'll transfer them over. If you want to wait and build everything into the new system with any of the new little gadgets, features that we are having inside of the system, go ahead and wait. Again, it doesn't matter. If you want to build it now, we will transfer it. So everything is going to get transferred over from UASIS into Utopia. So don't fear, none of the data is going to get lost. I have been working on that over the last month or so about, mapping everything correctly. So everything has been pretty smooth, but we will transfer over everything. So don't fear about anything being lost between the two systems. So again, with importing the data, our plan is to have the data received from Benchmark on July 1st. So once we shut everything down, they'll start creating all of the files. I will get them probably by the end of the day of July 1st. Then between July 1st, end of July 1st through July 7th, I will be importing all of the data. So I will import the data and I'm going to build all students' periods of participation into UASIS. So those are the pieces that we will be going on. That is the timeline that I have. Yes, I know that it is July 4th throughout that weekend. Yes, I have the day off. However, it's not going to affect, as we import any of the data. So that day will still be utilized as we go. We are giving ourselves essentially 6 full days to get all the data imported and everything set and ready to go for the new system. With that, UASIS will then be brought online Monday, July 8th, 2024. I will send out an email when the system is officially online. If for whatever reason something slows us down, something doesn't work, we will send an email out and just extend the UASIS downtime that we have. But the plan is to bring UASIS back online Monday, July 8th. I will send a notice out to all staff members when UASIS will be brought back online. We will figure out how to get you guys all your passwords as well as your logins, as they will be changing as we move into the new system. So that's kind of what's going to happen over the next little bit. Again, as I stated at the beginning, the dual year entry period will still happen through July 31st. We are still giving ourselves that full month. However, since it has been a feature that we've yet been able to fully test due to the timelines, we may run into bugs about I can't select a certain date or this is not letting me do something. We have tried to go through every scenario and tried to mock up everything as best as we can, and it does seem to appear to be working. However, again, until the system goes live and we've actually fully tested it with actual days, and during that period, we are still kind of in this holding pattern to make sure everything does work. So again, everything into Utopia as of June 30th. We will shut Utopia down early morning, July 1st. We will then import everything that first week of July, and UASIS will then be brought online July 8th. With UASIS is going to be coming a new webmaster email. Some of all those that helped with beta, they've already know about this email. They have been using it now for the last little month. But our new UASIS webmaster email will be uasiswebmaster@schools.utah.gov. We will continue to hold Utopia's webmaster open even for just a little bit longer as we make the transition over. But at some point within those first couple of months of Utopia going on, or of UASIS going online, we will shut that old webmaster email down. So when you do have problems, again, you can still ticket everything like we've asked. I will have to get through the ticketing system to get the name changed from Utopia to UASIS. So again, you still can use the ticketing system. But the email webmaster will change to UASIS webmaster as we move into UASIS. With all of that said, we are starting our trainings for the UASIS system starting next week. So those that have signed up for both South Point and our Beaver locations, you would have received an email from me this last week just as an informational, here's the address and things like that. Those that have signed up for Granite's on, so Granite, Horizonte, Grand, Ashley, Entrada, and Weber, you will get your emails later. As we get closer to your trainings, I will send information about times, locations, room numbers, parking, different things like that. If you have a question on whether you have signed up or for which training you have signed up for, please reach out. I am happy to grab that list and and look at which one you guys are signed up for. As of right now, you will see that we have 3 of our trainings that are full, but any of these trainings are actually, most of these trainings still have some extra room inside of them. So if you do have other staff members besides yourself, or some of your other admins that would like to come and participate in the training, please send them this QR code. I will send out the link for the signups as well. Again, if you sign up for the South Point or Beaver one between now and then, we may have to do a little bit of adding you last minute when we get there. But any other of the trainings, we're happy to sign up and go ahead and get you into those trainings. Again, these trainings are going to be a full overview of how to use UASIS. Everything from staff members trainings to how to build classes, locations, all the way into student management and things like that. So if you have teachers or testers that you don't necessarily need them to have all that information, we are happy to go ahead and do an additional training later, specifically revolving around what they are going to take. But if you would like them to have the full overview of what UASIS is capable of, please invite anybody to these. We would like to train as many people as we can through all of these. And again, we do still have openings in more than half of our trainings that we have coming forward. So again, this is going to be a very short meeting, as it's just kind of giving you guys an overview of what exactly it is. But I do want to give you guys a couple of minutes right now that, do you have any questions revolving around what UASIS has, or questions or anything like that? Do you have any questions for me revolving around Utopia shutdown and UASIS come online? And you are welcome to come off of mute. You're also welcome to use the chat feature. Either one, we'll go ahead and get those answered right now. Okay. I'm not seeing anything coming through chat. No one's has any questions through coming off online. So, again, thank you guys for everything that you've done. Thanks to those that have been patient with us as we've been building this new system. Um, we feel very proud of it here at the state level, and I know that a lot of our beta users have enjoyed it. Um, so again, if you've missed some of this and want to go back, we have recorded this. We will post this on YouTube tomorrow morning, along with an email about all this information. That way you guys as users can send this out to your staff members so that they have a timeline in case they are entering any sort of this data as well. So with that, again, thank you guys, and we will see you guys over the next month as we start doing all these UASIS trainings. Thanks, guys.